Okay, it's 7 o'clock, so we want to get started on time. Thank you all for coming tonight. Please turn off your cell phones or set them to vibrate so we don't disrupt the candidates in the middle of their thought. I want to thank you all for attending tonight's forum, and I also want to thank the candidates for being here tonight. And before we get started, I want to let you know that the PTA, the Jacksonville Beach Elementary School PTA, has coffee and cookies over here and water. We want to thank them for co-sponsoring this with us, so we hope you'll help yourself to the goodies that will help you enjoy the forum a little bit more. And in case you don't know about Beaches Watch, my name is Sandy Golding, and I'm president of Beaches Watch. We are a nonprofit, nonpartisan civic organization here at the beaches. And we were formed in 2004, so we are now 10 years old. We just celebrated our 10th anniversary. And our mission is to educate and involve citizens in the decisions that affect quality of life at our beaches communities. And so the communities are Atlantic Beach, Neptune Beach, and Jacksonville Beach that we focus on. Beaches Watch does not endorse candidates, but we do hold these forums so that we can help you guys learn about the candidates and make an informed decision when you vote. Now, before you leave, I hope you'll go by the Beaches Watch table, which is the yellow table over here where Kate is sitting, and pick up one of our brochures so you can learn a little bit more about our organization. If you'd like to receive emails from us with information about issues here at the beach, there's a sheet you can sign up for to get on our email list. And we also invite you to consider joining Beaches Watch as well. Now, when you got here tonight, you should have gotten a program that looks like this. And I hope each of you got one. As an added service, there's a lot of information on this program, and as an added service, we have posted additional candidate information on our website, and there will be a video of tonight's forum posted on the website. So we hope you'll check out our website. You'll see candidate bios, you'll see questions and answers that we submitted to the candidates that they submitted in writing, and those questions are on the back of the program, so you can see some of the specific questions that were asked. Now, tonight's format is going to be about an hour, and all the candidates are going to have 4 minutes for opening statements and 4 minutes for closing statements. And then we're going to have questions. The questions will be 2 minutes each. And we'll get as many in as we can within the hour. There will not be time allocated for rebuttals, but the candidates will have the ability to rebut something in their subsequent response to a question if they choose to do so. If you would like to submit a question, we are accepting questions from the audience, and there are question cards at the Beaches Watch table. You can fill out the question and give it to Kate, and then she can give it to me. But we do have a limited amount of time, so we will only be able to ask a certain number of questions, so we just want you to know that we might not be able to get your question submitted to the candidates. When the closing statements are completed, the candidates will remain here to talk to you. All their tables are here up front. They have their literature, and we hope that if there were any questions that didn't get answered during the forum, that you'll take the opportunity to speak to the candidates one-on-one. So, let's go ahead and get started, and I would like to introduce the candidates tonight. Seated to my right, to your left, are our Seat 4 District 1 candidates. We have Fernando Meza and Bruce Thomason. And then to my left, to your right, is Seat 6 District 3 candidates, Lee Buck and John Galarno. All right, so we are going to start first with Fernando Meza, and for the opening statements, each of the candidates will have 4 minutes. Our lovely timer, Sarah, is up front here, and she will be letting the candidates know when they have 30 seconds left and when their time is up. So for the opening statement, please take a moment to introduce yourself, explain why you are running for this office, and briefly describe your experience and qualification for the position.
Welcome, everyone. And good evening. Beaches Watch, thank you for hosting this forum. My name is Fernando Meza, and I'm running for Jacksonville Beach City Council, District 1, Seat 4. I'm originally from California, born and raised in Los Angeles. I answered the call of duty after the September 11 attacks and joined the United States Navy. I thought it was the right thing to do. I thought it was the American thing to do. The Navy is what brought me to this wonderful community I now call home, Jacksonville Beach. The Navy is what brought me, During my enlistment, I learned the values of leadership, integrity, honor, courage, and commitment. I plan to use these values as a city council member. I've served this country and I plan to do the same for the people of District 1. I'm here to see what I can do for you, not the other way around. You are the #1 reason why I'm running again. Customer service, pro-business, public safety, family-friendly environment, and community development is what I am running on. My first plan of action is to start an initiative called the Green Thumb Project, specifically to help out the historical Pablo Beach. I believe it is time to start revamping this area. I believe it's time to embrace our entire community as one. We are a unique beach community. We are not Jacksonville Beach. We are the Jacksonville Beach. We have an event called Opening of the Beaches Weekend, which is one of my favorites. Now, with this being said, the holidays are just around the corner, and our friend Curtis Loftus came up with the brilliant idea of deck the chairs. This is where we grab all the lifeguard chairs, and redecorate them with Christmas decorations. This has lifted the Christmas spirit here in Jacksonville Beach. I would like to see it continue to grow, and I would like to add a small hometown Christmas parade. This will bring families, kids of all ages, all kinds of businesses, and of course, ultimately bringing all Jacksonville Beach together. I can picture children getting excited as they find out Santa Claus is here in Jacksonville Beach. This would include all three, Now that's what I call a family-friendly environment. I would also see it having a bike-a-thon where the city will promote health and wellness and bicycle safety to this community, especially the younger generations. This would include all 3 beaches, and the proceeds will benefit the Wilson's Children's Hospital. Also, this event would encourage our children to put down their iPads, their smartphones, their video games, and go outside and enjoy Mother Nature, to live a fruitful life and not an obese one. As for downtown business district, I want to see that we have a balance between the restaurants and the bars. I want to see restaurants act what they really are, which is restaurants, and not turn into bars. I don't want to discourage any future businesses because of parking. The more prosperous business we have here in this district, in Jacksonville Beach, that's the more tax revenue the city will receive. Every single one of us is a taxpayer. As a resident or as a business owner, we need to take ownership of a beach and become the flagship what a small beach community should be. I would also see to it meeting every business owner in this district and extending my hand in addition to our residents. I plan to go beyond the scopes of my duties because I believe that's the right thing to do. I will not tell you what you want to hear so I can get elected. I'm not a good liar, and I'm way too honest for that. That's what I call a good public servant. On November 4, please vote Fernando Meza for Jacksonville Beach City Council, District 1, Seat 4.
Thank you, Sandy, and for the other members of Beaches Watch for this opportunity. Can people hear me? Is this coming through okay? Okay. For the opportunity to come talk to you tonight about my qualifications for the Jacksonville Beach City Council. For those of you who don't know me, I served a little more than 21 years as the Chief of Police here in Jacksonville Beach. I served from 1991 until I retired in 2012. When I've been retired a little while, I made the decision to run for the City Council. I had a lot of people ask me why I decided to run. Here I am, I'm retired, I don't need to work anymore, so to speak, some people said. Let me tell you first why I'm not running. I'm not running because I believe the city is in trouble or that the city is poorly managed. It's quite the contrary. The city of Jacksonville Beach is expertly managed. Just in this budget year, we've had a 14% decrease in the funds available to run the city. over the last budget year. The three unions settled with the city. They worked together to resolve the issues over pensions. Right now, two of the three unions, the pensions are plus 80% funded, and the third one is 79%. And the goal is to be at least 80% funded. And the city will be debt-free in only 6 years. I think those are tremendous steps that have been taken. That's why I'm running. I support completely what this city council and previous city councils have done to get us into this position, and I want to be a part of continuing that progress going forward. So what I think needs to be done? Not huge things, but let me tell you what I think the mission of our city leaders should be. It should be to create a community in which citizens not only will be safe, but feel safe in their homes, in their businesses, when out dining or shopping, taking a walk on the beach, and we want that for our visitors also. We want an environment that encourages business development, while at the same time maintaining a balance between a business's need to earn a profit and the needs of our citizens. And a city workforce that is absolutely committed to outstanding customer service, whether it's a call because of speeding in a neighborhood, it's a pothole that needs to be repaired, or someone who needs some assistance filing for a building permit. The City of Jacksonville Beach is a $154 million municipal corporation. In essence, it is identical to a for-profit corporation like, for example, Target. Just as the shareholders of Target would expect their board members to be knowledgeable and experienced in business, so too should our citizens, our residents and our business people expect that our council members would be knowledgeable and experienced in the field of city government. I have extensive knowledge in municipal government. I have sworn leadership capabilities, over 26 years as a police chief in 2 communities. I have strong integrity. I will never compromise my ethical principles. I'll always say what I believe, not what I expect someone wants to hear. I will not make decisions based upon my own self-interest, but upon what I believe is in the best interest of our citizens. Thank you.
I also thank the Beaches Watch group for inviting us, and it's great to see the turnout here, which without a mayor's race and whatnot is a little less than a couple of years ago when we had a full house. But I'm especially pleased to have my wife of 51 years and 2 of my 4 beautiful daughters, and I got a count here. I don't want to miss any. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grandchildren here. But you know the unfortunate thing? None of them live in my territory. Oh, that's a terrible situation. I got to get them to move. But anyway, what I'd like to touch on is business background on my table of qualifications. I've printed that out, and I don't have time to cover it, but if anybody wants to know anything about me, I've got it sitting right there, and I hope some of you will pick it up and you'll learn all about me. What I want to do now, I want to go back to the late 70s and early 80s, when we were all boarded up, and we were all tired of maybe hearing about that. But the important thing is what brought us out of that. Mayor McCormick, Mayor Latham, Mayor Morriston, Mayor Sharp, but not them alone. They had great city councils, and I've heard Bruce say this before, but I'm not copying him because I've worked in the city for a number of years on the Board of Adjustment and also on City Council. Anybody that has worked for this city, there is no finer group of employees more committed to customer service than the people of Jacksonville Beach. And I'm just so pleased to, and that starts at the top. That starts at top leadership, and we've had a great city manager. Now what I would like to touch on is, what did that leadership do? First of all, they stuck their necks out and they put money into a deteriorated, blighted city. And by doing that, they took it out of blight. They brought in Latham Plaza. We got, numerous facilities there, the Seascape and the Sheridan and Sneakers. None of these things would have come here without the leaders of our city encouraging those businesses to come here. Secondly, they then proceeded to develop the south end of the beach a couple years later. They took out a debt bond issue to do that. If any of you remember, in the early 1980s, where the South Beach Shopping Plaza is today was a bunch of acreage with palmetto plants. Today, that is a vibrant community. And we got a great park system. We've got great, I got my 30-minute warning there, so, but anyway, what I want to hit on real quick is our next vision. We've done streetscape. Now we need to move to the hospitality zone. And what I would term the hospitality zone is a hub. Darla and our family, we've gotten to go to cities that have a hub where people eat lunch, and after lunch they go throughout the community. They've got shops to shop in, and that will become a reality under our hospitality zone. I have no question about it. I'm committed to it, and it will happen. Thank you for your time.
John Gallardo.
Thank you for coming this evening. My name is John Gallardo, and a little bit of history on myself. I came to Jacksonville Beach in 1979. While I was still in the Navy, or in the Army, I was stationed in Georgia, and I came down here and fell in love with the place the very first time I got here. I moved my family here in 1987 and retired out of the Army in 1988. And I was blessed and fortunate enough to get a job with the Naval Air Depot, Jacksonville, which is co-located at NAS Jacksonville and Cecil Field. And for the last 11 years, I worked at Cecil Field. In addition to that, during my time here in Jacksonville Beach, I was an active volunteer. I was a Boy Scout leader. I was on the School Advisory Council of San Pablo Elementary School. And I also worked on the vision plan for the schools in 2000. Currently, I'm a member of the volunteer corps at the Jacksonville Beach Police Department, and I run the volunteer program, the Citizens Police Academy, which has classes 2 times a year. And if you're interested, our next class begins on January 8th. What we're here tonight is not about what the candidates up on the stage here represent. It's about what you represent and what you want for the city of Jacksonville Beach. So for the next hour and between now and the election day, I'd like you to think about your vision for Jacksonville Beach, and during that time decide which one of us is the best leader to complete that vision. I've got a vision for Jacksonville Beach too, and my vision is to bring a balance between the needs of our neighborhoods and the needs of downtown. I think during my visits on the street, I've talked to a lot of people, and they feel that we spend too much money downtown, too many resources downtown, and sometimes they feel the neighborhoods are ignored. Now, that's a perception in most cases, but there are certain parts of it that are true. I want to get downtown under control and create an environment where you can go and have fun safely. That's not the case right now. Just Monday, I talked to a lady at the Beaches Business Association was expressing her concerns that she cannot go downtown, or she fears I'm going downtown late at night past 10 o'clock. I want to rectify that problem. I want to create a city that's entirely safe. You need to be safe in your homes, and you need to be safe in the streets. And we have a fine police department that does that. We've stretched our resources at points, but we have a fine police department that does that, and we need to keep that going. I want to fight for lower taxes. Jacksonville is a city that is under pressure to raise their taxes, and in Jacksonville Beach, we've held the line on taxes for the most part. So we need to keep those taxes low and keep working to keep them low. And that brings an efficiency to the government. The more efficient we make government, the lower we can lower our taxes and provide you with more services. And I want to work together with you and the business community to bring businesses to our downtown and throughout the city. There is way too many vacant stores and vacant storefronts in Jacksonville, and we need to come up with a plan to solve that problem. We need to encourage business development, and we need to get people to come downtown and start a business which will generate revenue, tax revenue, business revenue, bring more people down to support the restaurants and the recreation facilities we have in our wonderful community. I thank you.
Okay, this question is we're going to start with Bruce Thomason first on this one. And you'll have 2 minutes to respond, but all the candidates will be answering this question. It's a district question. What improvements, because all of you are representing a district, what improvements or changes would you like to see made in your district, and how would you propose they be implemented?
There are two areas in particular. One, of course, is downtown in the Central Business District. The vision plan that was put together several years ago is being actively pursued by this current City Council, and I fully support that. We don't have a diverse enough mix of businesses in the downtown area now, and I think we need to move more in that direction. We've got some really good information that we received back from people who came to some of the council workshops here several months ago, and I want to see those kinds of things get put into place, draw some higher-end restaurants to downtown, some additional retail to downtown, and even some professional offices to downtown. The second area that I would like to see is in Palo Beach South. This is the area immediately out this door, and it's bounded essentially by Shutter Avenue down to about 6th Avenue South, 3rd Street over to where we are right now. That's an area that I put into place in 1991 a CAPE program, Community Assisted Policing effort, and we put officers in the area and truly turned that area around in terms of the crime that was taking place. It is not on the same par as, say, Ocean Forest or other areas in Jacksonville Beach yet, but it is moving in that direction, and I think we as a City Council need to focus on Pablo Beach South. Let the residents know in that neighborhood that we care just as much about them as we do about any other neighborhood, any other business area throughout the city of Jacksonville Beach. Thank you.
My number one priority is parking. I've knocked on many, many doors throughout this community, and the people throughout the community are tired of people parking all over the community. And I truly believe for 20 years we've been talking about the need of a parking garage. I'm not exaggerating, 20 years. And I think it's time to take that step forward to truly address it, involve our citizens, involve the business community. And in my opinion, the current location that we're thinking of for a parking garage would not fit. We need a large lot that would truly support a mixed type of environment, which might draw a major restaurant, and I have no doubt our businesses deserve this parking as well. And so anyway, it's time to quit talking about it. It's time to take action. It's time to move on, and it's time to do it. And so anyway, that and as I wrote in a recent article, secondly, I will never leave out safety. A parking garage is great, but as anybody that stands up here and doesn't tout that we have to have a safe community to be safe, then, you know, we won't draw the people here. We won't have them up here. So safety is a key issue, and so is a parking garage. Thank you.
John Larno?
Well, there's several priority one issues for me, but they're all interrelated. You cannot just one issue and think it's going to solve the problem. When we hired 4 additional police officers for downtown Cape last May, I told the city council that that wasn't the total solution to the problem. We need to have a comprehensive solution to the problem across the city. And it begins with downtown development, it begins with public safety, and it begins with, first of all, developing a parking garage downtown. A lot of the complaints I hear when I'm walking the neighborhoods is that the encroachment that Lee referred to. And to have a comprehensive parking plan, we need to look at the entire city, not just the downtown area. One of the things that's an option in some of the other cities is a residential parking permit program, where residents decide if they want their neighborhoods and their zones to be a parking permit only for residents. And I think we need to take a look at that when we look at a total solution for the issues that face downtown. Public safety is always an issue. We need to keep expanding what we do with this, the Citizens Police Academy and this Citizens on Patrol program, where we take those volunteers and let them do service that is non-threatening to them, doesn't put them in harm's way, and that way it frees up officers to do their law enforcement duties. Typical examples are doing crash reports and doing theft reports where there is no suspect and no violent behavior that went along with the theft. So those are the few things that I would do and a priority for me. Thank you.
Well, my first priority, of course, since I have worked in the downtown business district for almost 10 years, is I've seen businesses come in and go. But one of the things that a lot of people are tired of is seeing some of these restaurants that act as bars. It's not fair to the business owners who have spent hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to pay for an actual 4COP license when you have a restaurant that acts like a bar. They don't have much to lose because they still can serve food and keep their business open. And they don't follow they don't follow the law to the inch as some of these restaurants do. This past Monday we met with BBA, and the lady John Lerner was talking about, she directed that question towards me and Bruce. She doesn't feel safe. We have to stand behind the police department as a community, that we support whatever action they have to do to keep the community safe. If you don't feel safe, there's always a police officer walking around in that neighborhood, in that part of downtown. You are more than welcome to approach them and talk to them and tell them what the situation is. Whether the individual is meaning to do harm or he is just having a good time and doesn't know where he stands. And as a the second thing, of course, is the soil of Pablo Beach. I feel like it has been neglected over the past years, and it's not up to par with the rest of the community here in Jacksonville Beach. I want to let the community know that I, as a representative, want to move that community forward. I have the Green Thumb Project, which is to give the homeowners an initiative to remodel their houses or their front yards. And I have 30 seconds. To make sure, you know, their houses are looking up to par compared to the other parts of Jacksonville Beach. And those are just my priorities. Thank you.
This next question, we are going to start with Lee Buck, and you'll have 2 minutes. The question is, what do you propose be done to encourage and attract more diversity of businesses and development in the downtown area?
Well, I like the idea of using this thing as well. I'm going to get back to what I said about a hub. To me, you cannot develop a city that doesn't have a hub. A hub is where you got, you know, all kinds of a variety of businesses and stores, and whether it be candy shops or maybe I shouldn't say it, cigar shops or bookshops, or but we need a hub. And I'll give you one example. I don't know if any of you have ever been to Mount Dora, but they've got just a great hub. And when people leave a restaurant, they want to wander around and walk in the little shops, and they're whatnot shops or whatever. But I'll admit, on 4th Avenue South, those businesses have thrived. I wish I could keep my wife away from there, but anyway, I'm really kidding there. But anytime we have somebody in from out of town, they want to go to those places, and there's no reason that we can't have those kind of places in our hub. That's you know, I've had people tell me it's never gonna work, and that to me is, again, I use this too often, but that's a half-empty glass. And with a half-full glass, we can develop a hub where people will, and I'm talking about our local people. Our local people will go to restaurants, and they'll support that hub, and they'll wander around. So anyway, I appreciate my time is up.
Thank you. Is that going to work? Can you hear me? Development. First of all, let me tell you that Jacksonville Beach has had a downtown development plan, a redevelopment plan, since 1987. And redevelopment started long before that, when we came up with a certificate of need to have a redevelopment plan. In 2007, we tweaked that redevelopment plan, and we named it the Vision Plan. The Vision Plan at that time, in 2007, had 36 tasks or checkoff things that we needed to do downtown. In the past 12 years, we've done 12, or the past 7 years, we've done 12 of them. So it's time to get back to the redevelopment plan, the vision plan for Jacksonville Beach, and come up with ways to do that. And one of the ways that we can do that is that the Florida State statutes on redevelopment allows us a lot of flexibility to do things to bring businesses and development downtown. One of those things was the Downtown Cape program. It's called Innovative Policing Efforts. And we've done that, and we've used CRA money to put policemen downtown. It's now time to take a look at incentives to bring businesses downtown, whether they be moving incentives, incentive facade replacement incentives, long-term land grants or land leases and bring business downtown. In the past 27 years, all we've done is do infrastructure, hoping they would come, and it's now time to do the hard work of business development for downtown. Thank you.
Fernando Meza.
First thing I would like to do is limit some of the red tape we have for some of the businesses to come into the downtown business district. We have a few thriving businesses in the downtown. We have Blind Rabbit, for example, who just today, it's their 1-year anniversary, they grossed $4 million in sales. That is something that we could use to thrive, to bring other businesses here. Maple Street, for example, it's delicious. You should try it. You know, that's just some of the examples of the thriving businesses we have here in the downtown business district. We have the festivals, which help a lot of our restaurants downtown, from Sneakers, Joe's Crab Shack, family friendly. Last year, the Celtic Festival, it brought a ton of business to some of the downtown restaurants and bars. Blind Rabbit, for example, they had a $8,000 lunch and a $17,000 dinner. That's jobs, and that's a thriving business that we could brag about as a city council member and as a community. That's something to be proud of, I think, and that's our ways to bring business here besides giving them incentives and some tax breaks to bring them in. Thank you.
I'd like to give a little shout out here to somebody in the room. Mayor Latham was actively involved in speaking to politicians at the state level, and was, I don't know that I can say he was instrumental, but he certainly lent a lot of credibility to the idea of Trader Joe's coming to Jacksonville Beach. The only thing from my perspective that would have been better would be if it were a little bit closer to downtown. I have no idea what will eventually go in, but Beach and 3rd at that area that is fenced off would have been a beautiful place for something like that. And I do believe that things are going to happen down there. We've got a little restaurant called Chipotle's that is being built right now, where a little drive-in grocery was located on South 3rd. We have something called Graffiti Kitchen or something like that, a high-end hamburger restaurant going in where the old Burger King was located on North 3rd. So we do have some things that are happening now. Now, additionally, in the redevelopment area, for those of you who are not aware of it, tax increment funds are used to fund the redevelopment of downtown, and it goes through the Community Redevelopment Agency, who is an advisory board to the City Council. With advice from the CRA to the Council, tax breaks could be given to businesses to encourage them to come into that area. Loans could be made, as well as breaks on percentages of loans and that sort of thing. So there are things already that can be done. There are things that are happening right now, improving downtown as well as throughout the community, and I think we need to see that continue. Thank you.
This next question, we're going to start with John Galarno. And a few of you have touched on this already, so let's talk about it a little bit more, maybe get into a little more detail. Recently, several businesses have been turned away because of a lack of parking. And what do you support to address the parking issues in Jacksonville Beach?
Well, the businesses that were turned away, and I think we're talking about Surf at the Bar, that was only one of the reasons that Surf at the Bar did not pass muster. We have a problem downtown with parking. It's a growing problem because we have an increased population, not here in Jacksonville Beach, but across the Intercoastal Waterway. and all those people want to gravitate toward the beach. The parking problem needs to be solved by an approach that we address the whole situation in the city. It's just not one answer for the parking problem. I'm a proponent of a parking garage. I'm a proponent of 2-hour parking. I addressed that to the city council when they first came to office 2 years ago, when they started doing the reconstruction of 6th Avenue North. And finally, we have some 2-hour parking downtown that supports the merchants and the turnover of traffic downtown. So I'm a supporter of 2-hour parking. And like I said before, I'm a supporter of residential permit parking in the areas that surround the central business district. Again, we need to look at parking across the whole entire city, but begin with downtown and start looking at a parking garage for our downtown area. What that parking garage will do is free up valuable property on First Street that is now parking for development. We don't need parking lots on First Street. We need businesses, we need retail, we need multi-use facilities, whether it be housing on the 2nd floor, a restaurant on the 3rd floor, whatever it is, we need development on First Street. We have a beautiful city, we need a view of the ocean, and we need to exploit that view and that ocean view. Thank you.
Orlando Meza.
Parking. That's been an issue for many years. I remember when Tom Taylor was running, parking was an issue back then. It was unfortunate Surf of the Bar was turned away because of parking. It was such a good idea, excellent. It would have helped the surrounding businesses. I am in favor of either a parking garage or a multi-purpose garage, as advised by the mayor at the Times Union this Monday. To control parking on the west side of 3rd Street, I would encourage to ban parking for non-residents. Like that, we can limit the amount of littering some of the visitors do, from beer cans, Burger King, diapers, whatever. I think we should look into that and then push the people that are parking into the downtown business district and control from within. That empty lot that's on the corner of 3rd Street and Beach Boulevard, that could be a multi-purpose garage, Second thing, Bruce mentioned the graffiti place. Graffiti Junction, it's a wonderful place. I actually went to it in Orlando. Good food. It's pretty much like Mine Rabbit. It's really, really good. How can we make sure that parking is not an issue in 4 years? We're definitely going to have to sit and do it immediately. I don't think we should wait for any more workshops, wait 2 years from now. We need to fix it now, before this 4 years are over. I think we should start doing it now. Thank you.
Bruce Thomason.
Sorry to keep doing this back and forth. We were told by our consultant when we first started looking at this issue a number of years ago that if we wanted to build a parking garage, certainly we could do that. However, don't expect to make money on it. Parking garages, historically, throughout the country, do not pay for themselves. Now, what we need to think about, too, what makes it a little more difficult, in spite of the advice we were given, is that we still tend to be seasonal. We don't have people like UNF has their parking lots filled 7 days a week, just about. We don't fill all of our parking lots downtown 7 days a week, except at certain times of the year and maybe at certain times of the day. So we need to be cautious about that. Before I would vote for a parking garage, I would want tremendous amount of feedback from our citizens. You need to understand clearly that it's going to cost money. It's not going to make money. If you still think that this is a good idea, then certainly that's something we could consider. A public-private partnership with a group of businesses might be an option also. And certainly I support what the mayor has been discussing with the idea, similar to the way the Metropolitan is built, where you have a mix of retail, parking, professional, and even residences. Of course, that's a 7-story building too. But for a 35-foot height limit, you could, no question, put some parking there as well as retail and restaurants. And that would be a good use as opposed to us, at least at this point in time, paying for a parking garage that will not pay for itself. Thank you.
Well, I'm going to leave that alone too. We've really hit this thing pretty hard. One thing I want to say, and that's this. For a parking garage to be successful, I think we have to look at potentially buying a piece of property, and I'm talking about a whole block. And that's the only way that, and Bruce referred to that we can have a mixed-use, truly successful type of parking garage. To try to build a parking garage on a half a lot or anything like that is it's going to cost money, and it's not going to be a mixed-use type of garage. I want to use one other example, and you've heard it many times. We're a city of 22,000 people. On any given weekend, we're a city of thousands and thousands more, particularly on festivals and summer months. And this is, again, the reason. I realize we're seasonal, and I agree with Bruce on that. But we've been talking about this 20 years. And working with the citizens and maybe private investment or whatever, and business, it's something that can happen, will happen, and is going to happen, in my opinion, if we work hard to make it happen. Thank you.
We're going to do one more question before closing statements, and we're going to start with Fernando Meza, and you'll have 2 minutes. This question is about communication. Would you make any improvements in the way city government communicates with its various constituents? Please explain your answer.
Communication. Every lasting relationship deserves an honest, true communication. I believe so. Some of you, Lee Butler has been married for 51 years. I'm sure communication has to do something with that. And of course, honesty. As a city council member, I just don't want to give you a call and give you an emails. I want to extend the hand, go to your house, go to your business, and see what the problem is. Find a solution and do it. Besides using the internet and social media, especially nowadays with technology advancing, the city should start using a little bit more social media, of course, representing the city, not yourself, your opinion by yourself. The agenda that is put out for City Council Monday should be done a little bit earlier, like Sandy said, the other meeting. I think that's about it. Thank you.
Bruce Thomason.
The most difficult thing is to communicate effectively. The message that we intend to send to someone is not always the message that's received. As a city council member, I will do everything possible to communicate my ideas for District 1 to all the people within the district. My intention is to send out a letter, if elected, to every resident and business in Jacksonville Beach in District 1. That's almost 6,000 people and probably 4,800 homes and businesses. But I'm going to send them a letter introducing myself, letting them know that I'm the new city council member for District 1. This is my contact information. if you would like to be on a list to be notified in the event something is happening, then send me back an email, call me, and let me know how I can communicate with you. The easiest way, obviously, is through various social medias or email. But any way someone wants me to contact them, I'm going to make myself available to them so that I can make, as a council member, informed decisions about the issues that are important to the residents in District 1. Thank you.
I'm going to give a quick example here, which Darla is quite familiar with. I was a regional vice president over 13 states, including Texas and California. And when I took over that territory, I went into these large offices and I went around and met every single employee. And they were astounded. They said, gee, we've never even met, our manager before. And as Darla knows, that's been something that's always been number one on my list is communication, communication, communication. And I'm going to give an example. I was walking down the city hall the other day, and one of the employees came up to me and said, for the first time since I've worked here, the mayor of Jacksonville Beach came up, talked to me, and complimented me on the good job I'm doing. And Mayor Latham writes his personal notes. He's working many hours a week to do that, but I came from the same cloth. Communicate, work with your citizens, make them aware that you really care about them, and they'll respond accordingly. Thank you.
Well, luckily enough, my 22 years in the military, my last MOS, Military Occupation Specialty, was an area communications specialist. I can't guarantee you I'm going to give you encrypted communications all the time, but I will communicate with you. I have a website. First of all, I'd like to say that I have to give this current city council their due, because prior to their coming on city council, there was a lot of things that went on, workshops that happened at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and other things that happened when people could not get to them. And now we have a city council that is open to workshops and meetings when people are off of work and you can get to them. That's been a great improvement. But back to my website. I have a website. If I'm elected, it stays there. And I have all your names and addresses because the supervisor of elections provides those to us. So I will also send out a letter and invite you to participate in that website. The other thing I'd like to do is somewhere down the road, if I'm elected, we're going to have a kind of a breakfast meeting every once in a while, every 6 months or every year, and get together, and I want to hear your concerns. Communications is a two-way street, and I can't do anything for the city unless I know what you want done to the city. So that's how I keep communications going.
Okay, before we start closing statements, I want to make say a few things real quickly. I first want to thank the Jacksonville Beach Elementary School PTA for co-sponsoring this forum with us tonight and providing the goodies and helping to make the arrangements for us to use this wonderful facility. And I also want to mention Principal Linehauser. She's always been great about allowing Beaches Watch to have these forums here. It's a perfect venue. So we really appreciate everything you guys have done. I also want to thank the Beaches Watch volunteers who helped to organize tonight's forum. And I also want to mention that tonight's forum is being recorded. I mentioned that earlier. It will be posted on our website. And so if you know someone who wasn't able to be here tonight, please encourage them to go to our website and actually listen to the forum so that they can be informed before they vote. So now we're going to go to closing statements, and I believe we're going to start with Bruce Thomason. Each candidate will have 4 minutes for their closing statements.
To begin, I'd like to add my thanks to President Sandy Golding and the other members of Beaches Watch, to the PTA, and to the school for giving us this opportunity to come here and share with you what we see as our qualifications for the positions. I want to thank all of you for coming here and taking the time to listen to us. And I would be remiss if I did not offer special thanks to my wife, Jackie. Please raise your hand there. She has, for her unwavering support throughout this long campaign process. Jackie and I came to Jacksonville Beach in 1991 when I accepted the job as the chief of police. Our intention was truly to spend 3 or 4 years here and then move on to hopefully a larger police department, a larger city. 23 plus years later, we're still here. We have grown to love Jacksonville Beach. This has become our home. We love the beach, we love the weather, but most of all, we love the people here. We seldom go anywhere in any of the 3 beaches without running into someone we know. There is such a sense of community here. The feeling that Jacksonville Beach, particularly, I'm prejudiced, is the greatest place in the world to live. I'm honored to have been given the opportunity to serve more than 21 years as the chief of police in Jacksonville Beach, and I hope to be able to serve as a city council member and continue to help move this city forward. I've been endorsed by many residents, businesses, and elected officials. I have the endorsement of 5 of the current 7 council members, including Mayor Latham and Mayor Pro Tem Tom Taylor. I have the endorsements of prior council members, including Mayor Sharp, Mayor Pro Tem Penny Christian, and former council members Rick Knight and Dick Matthews. In the business community, I've been endorsed by Beaches Biz, the political committee of the Jacksonville Chamber, and by NEFAR, the Northeast Florida Association of Realtors. Throughout my service as a police chief in this community, I directed the largest city department with almost 100 employees. I prepared and managed a budget of $8 million each year. I created numerous programs that focused on bringing residents and businesses together with police department employees to create a safer community and to improve the quality of life for all. I'm the one candidate in the race with the necessary qualifications to serve as the next council member in District 1. In closing, I want to leave you with this one thought. My career was spent in public service. As a member of the Jacksonville Beach City Council, my label will be politician. But in my heart, I will always be a public servant. For those residents who live in District 1, I am respectfully asking for your vote on November 4th. Thank you.
Thank you. Bruce and I share many of the same thoughts here, and having had the opportunity to serve on the Board of Adjustment for 2 terms, or appointed to it for 2 terms, the City Council from 2004 to 2012, and then I had multiple people approach me and say, we've got a lot going on and we would like your experience and we'd like for you to run. I'm pro-business, and I'm proud of having served the committee, the community in those capacities, and I'm really proud of some of the endorsements that I have received, and some mirror what Bruce has just said. Mayor Charlie Latham, Pro Tem Tom Taylor, Steve Harkemeyer, City Council, Kara Tucker, Neptune Beach City Council, the Northeast Florida Association of Realtors, Cindy Funkhauser, CEO of Sulzbecker Center, Janet Atkins, Florida House of Representatives, District 11, Joseph M. Metrick, President, Beaches Baptist Hospital. And this one I was especially proud of. I was at the Beaches Watch, and Benny Furlong came up to me, and she said, "When are you going to ask for my endorsement?" I was there the following Monday. But Benny is just loved by this whole community. She's done so much for this community, and I couldn't be prouder of her support. Rick Knight, CRA Board, Kersey, Chairman of the CRA, Glenn Sharp, former Mayor, Penny Christian, former Pro Tem, Nancy Bronner, former Duval County School Board, Scott Shine, candidate for Duval County School Board 2, Ray Fisher, past chair, CRA Jacksonville Beach, and my good friend Walter Dickinson, retired past CEO of Colliers Dickinson. I left a few out, but I think that shows the people that feel that I am truly pro-business and would appreciate your vote for seat 3, District 3, seat 6, on November 4th. Thank you.
John Delano?
At the beginning of this forum this evening, I ask you to consider or take a look at the vision that you want for Jacksonville Beach and see if it fits into my vision of Jacksonville Beach. And if you believe that we need a balance between downtown and the neighborhoods, I'm the leader that can do that. And I'm the one that can get downtown under control and make it a place where you can go without fear. I'm also the one that can make the entire city a safe place to go. You need to be safe in your homes. You need to be safe in your neighborhoods. And I will fight for lower taxes by making an efficient government and lowering the tax base. And I'll work together with you, the businesses in this community, to bring a vibrant downtown area to our city. It's a necessity that we have a vibrant downtown because that is the heart of our city. I don't have all the endorsements of all the politicians that endorse some of these people, but I do have the endorsements of JaxBiz and the hundreds of business owners that belong to the Chamber of Commerce. I am also the only candidate on this forum tonight that has the endorsement of the Fraternal Order of Police. They've entrusted me to make sure that we have a safe community to live in. Proven leadership through my military experience, proven business experience through my work at the Naval Aviation Depot, and proven volunteer experience with my work with the Jacksonville Beach Police Department, the Boy Scouts of America, and the education system of Duval County. Proven commitment, I'm committed to this job. I'm committed to you, I'm committed to being there to take your problems before the City Council. Thank you, and I'm John Glarno, and I want to be your next City Councilor.
Well, time is up. I want to begin by thanking everyone that attended this event and thank Beaches Watch for hosting this forum. All my friends and supporters, thank you for being here. I hope to have answered all the questions adequately, and if you want me to expand on some of these questions, please feel free to ask me afterwards. In my opening statement, I mentioned some of the things I would like to do while in office, but I also want to add, I want to set a timeline for all the things that I have said. We live in a beach community where people ride their bikes, their skateboards, where people exercise, and I want them to know that I will be addressing the issue of having bike lanes, starting a campaign to share the road, adding crosswalks in some parts of 3rd Street. Because every year I see someone that is injured or killed by a moving vehicle, I want to reduce those incidents because I want everybody to go back to their loved ones. My pledge to you is to represent you to the best of my abilities, to serve this office with integrity and honesty that it deserves. I will stay in touch with this community and not lose focus of who I work for. I am proud to call Jacksonville Beach my home, and so should you, but we should also be proud to have someone in office we can count on. I believe this makes a happy community, because no one wants to live in a community where they cannot count on leadership. I am a proud American regardless of the issue this country is facing. I know deep in my heart we always unite and become a stronger nation. I feel the same way about Jacksonville Beach. We have our own issues to work on, and we have a beach life to protect since we are the taxpayers in this community. As a small beach community, we should not stay behind times. Technology is advancing and views are changing. But one thing, we should never forget the small hometown feel that we have, and we should protect it. There are generations that have lived in Jacksonville Beach for a long time, and we should honor them by doing what is right. For example, Lee Buck has lived here for a long time, right? Now, with Hoffman, Vogelsan, Doherty in office, and me in office, you get the Fantastic Four. Hopefully you got that reference. Now, the question before us here is which candidate do you choose to represent District 1? The question before the people of District 1, and only you can decide what you want the district to be, and what do you want the future to be. I think we are ready to become the best ever. I don't have all the endorsements. I have the endorsements of residents, the downtown business district, and some of the businesses in the south end of the district. On November 4, please vote Fernando Meza for Jacksonville Beach City Council, District 1, Seat 4.
Okay, please join me in thanking these candidates for their desire to serve us and for being here tonight and answering these questions for you. And I want to remind you that there is early voting, so if you want to vote before November 4th, early voting will start October 20th and run through November 2nd. Otherwise, we hope you'll plan to vote November 4th. And again, thank you all for coming tonight, and please enjoy some goodies that the PTA brought, and we hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you.